You can tell a lot about a place by its cemeteries, particularly its older ones. Lawn cemeteries now are all a bit sterile. But we're here today at Ulverstone General Cemetery, which was closed back in the 70s, but was opened in the 1800s. So let's go for a walk and look at the life of Ulverstone. Start with an overview. It's a fairly sizable place, as you can see. There's people up there attending to graves, so we won't bother them. Time stretches back in these places. So it passed away in 1970 at 90, so what's that, the 1880s? 1880, 1881 maybe, she hadn't had a birthday. 1879. It's a fair age, it's even nowadays. As I say, this is a link back to the past. Number 407, that's a very early army number. Trooper Ewington of the 3rd Light Horse Regiment. He made it back and lived till 1970, so he'd have been born in 1892 or thereabouts. 14, so he'd have been in his 20s during the war. And as ever with these things, Neville Lindsay Turner, 18 years old. Don't say how he was accidentally killed, just that he was. So 1951 to 1969, it's not very long. Another First World War grave, I believe. It says AIF on the hat badge, Australian Imperial Force, which was the First World War. Again, 1892, survived the war. Lots of people did, obviously, but they all came back a little bit different. Set of good genes. Charles made it to 91. He was married to Elia Louisa for 62 years. Now, that's a fair run. And she passed at 100. And their daughter made it to 91 as well. That's a good set of genes. Even after antibiotics, these things still happen. 3 months and 10 days. It must be hell to live on with that as part of your history. Just about every cemetery's got one of those. One partner passes away and within months the other one joins them. Agnes on the 30th of March, and then Henry on the 29th of May, same year. They must have been close. Certainly stretches on. This time a World War II digger, Army Service Corps. So obviously he survived because he died in 74 at the age of 77. And you can see from the V at the start of his army number, VX25872, he signed up in Victoria. This one does an old gunner's heart good to see. Gunner Smith signed up in Tasmania. You can see from the number there, TX3050, 2nd 8th Field Regiment. He was only 52 when he bundied off in 71. You don't know whether the war had an effect or not, but he certainly would have been closer to the front than most in the Field Regiment. Only the infantry are closer. Here we have a First World War digger, probably signed up with the other fella with the number of 470. This one's 469, 40th Battalion. So he'd have seen some unpleasantness, but made it back, lived to a reasonable age. And of course it never stopped in the 20th century. This is Private Brewer, 6708915. 8th of October 1968 at the age of 22, and he was a member of the Royal Australian Regiment 4 Battalion. So he was a grunt on the ground in Vietnam. It never stops. So made a beach cook from 1876 to 1967. That's that, 85 years, 95 years, something like that. It's the line at the bottom, a truly remarkable lady. Lives through electrification, steam, internal combustion engines, and off into the First and Second World War, the Depression of the 1890s and the 1930s, and didn't quite get to see people land on the moon, but hell of a life. And in contrast, we have Stephen and David, 21 and 10, both accidentally drowned on the 28th of December, which would not make Christmas a fun time every year. You get these in most cemeteries. A lot more people drowned in the past than do now. Another First World War digger, James Nisi, private, 6329. It was a 12th Battalion, and he won the military medal. These were known as the fair dinkum, the later numbers, because they knew the death tolls and still signed up. Well, third light horse, Trooper Lee. He lived through the war, obviously, passed away in 1970, born in 1894 or thereabouts. But, very much a First World War thing, Australian light horse. Here's another one where they both went within a year of each other. 23rd of January, Amy bundied off at 62, and by the 14th of June the same year, George had gone to join her at 63. It's a funny thing, that sort of closeness. This style of grave was quite common for children, with the rails and panels around it. William Williamson, 11 hours. I don't know how people deal with stuff like that, I really don't. And here's another one next to it, 1916, 13 hours, my God. It's the juxtaposition of the centenarians and the couples that bundy off within a year of each other, and the children. It's really, really hard some moments in this. Very unusual shield shape grave marker there. I guess age 31 you'd put in a bit more effort, I guess. Only 45 when Barry left this place. That's a hell of a monument. Nice large piece of stone without too much embellishment. Very nice. Another shield shaped monument for a 20-year-old. Lewis. Private Williams from the Medical Corps, First World War, from that number, 11063. A private, but they did a lot of excellent work carrying people out of the front line to medical care. Something of a more substantial monument for Thomas Stubbs. Now as we look down the line, there's a lot more of these ones with the garden fences around them, which I'm not looking forward to seeing. The length of the grave would suggest a younger person, but there's no age on the grave marker, just that they died in 1905. This one's a little tricky to interpret, it's painful enough. Nellie Hocking died on the 7th of February 1889 at 23. Daughter of the above Mabel died at 4 months. Not sure if they're both on the same day or how far apart they were, but it's not good. Now this one again is a small plot, and the headstone has fallen from its plinth. Malvina Elizabeth Devlin, aged 1 year and some months, I'm not sure. Yeah. Now this one belongs to the McKennas. Quite a sizable monument with multiple burials in the same plot. Lawrence Council, Another monument that slipped from its plinth. Not surprising, it's a monster. This is another sizable one in black granite by the look of it. Possibly black marble, who am I to know? If you know, leave a comment below. Hugh, who passed away in 1919, husband of Mary, who hung on until the end of October 1945. It's a long time. Now this one shows the Irish connection, clearly from the Celtic cross, and it's in memory of Father Peter O'Reilly, who comes from County Cavan in Ireland, which is up in Ulster, but still in the free part of Ulster, who passed away at 65 back in 1920. Another trio of wee burials. Another trio of burials, as I say. James Joseph Craven, born and died on the same day, 19th of March 56. And Christina Vera McKenna, a whole day, 1956 again. And then Julianne McKenna. I wonder how related they were in 53 at 14 weeks. Okay, so Private Kelly, 2553, 40 Battalion, 23rd of November 1919. I wonder if it was from wounds or an accident or the flu even. It's hard to know. And his brother next door, Corporal Kelly, 12 Battalion. Another nice piece of monumental work. Something quite stark and reflective about the white marble. Another fairly sizable monument. The wording. Dear husband R.W. Holbrook died at the Penguin in 1901. As a 41-year-old. A better husband never lived, a kinder father never died. His manly heart no man deceived, his noble spirit knew no pride. Sacred Heart of Jesus, have mercy on his soul. So clearly Catholic, but wow. Quite a sizable grave, this one, and we'll step in closer and see why. Alright, John Lynch 16, Ernest Lynch 13, Alan Lynch 11, Dorothy Lynch 9, William Wells 26, Jane Wells 8, Mary Lynch 19 and Nellie Lynch 17. The above were accidentally drowned in the Gawler River on the 4th of April 1929. And what happened was they were all in a car going to a dance. And there'd been a lot of rain and the bridge wasn't there. One 13-year-old, one of the Lynches I believe, survived by hanging onto a branch in the river until help came. Quite horrific. Alright, this one's a little bit different, as you can see. Not sure if you can pick up the writing there. It's Victor Potelnik, born in Slovenia in 1930, died in Ulverstone in 1951. Quite an impressive thing. Now, talking about age differences. John Francis, Pope, passed away in 1921 at 37, late of the AIF. So who knows what was going on there. 1921, but his wife lived on till 1963. That's 42 years without the young fella. It's a long time. Impressive obelisk style memorial here. Left Bibra, 79 years in 1920 when he passed, and Mrs. 75 in 1921 when she passed, less than 12 months later. This face, it's about Charlie, who was killed in France while on active service on the 9th of April 1917 as a 37-year-old. So definitely not one of the young ones. Red granite's fairly impressive, stands out, apart from the size and shape compared to everything else around it. But yeah, I'm guessing that the 40th Battalion was a Tasmanian unit. That's the second person, Private Alan Peebles. 2137 I think, but the numbers are a bit blurry. Another one, 9 months, Gordon Turner. Okay, this one I'm not so sure about, but there's interesting stuff. Loving memory of Clara, beloved wife of Hazel and mother of Molly, who died on 29th of October 1914, aged 32. Also of Private Peter Stratton, who died from wounds received at the Battle of Poitiers, France, August 8, 1916. There was an awful lot of people died in France. Spent the last half an hour trying to find the grave of William Burroughs, who we covered in Bluff video one back, who threw himself into the water near the blowhole to save a young girl and who lost his life in the process. Would have been nice to actually find the marker. The girl was saved by the life-saving club that rode round from the beach at the Bluff, and bits of William were found, a skull and a few other pieces on that beach over the next couple of weeks. And his father put up a memorial to him, but either I'm not seeing it as I look at it, or it's been taken down for renovation or something. But it's definitely not where they're saying it is. But we'll come back and have another go another day. So I might just wrap this up here. A lot of good lives lived, sacrifices made, and a lot of suffering with the death of children. But I guess you're going to get that in a cemetery.